Welcome to the Red Eye. I'm Wade Engelhart.
I'm Brian Okumu.
We have a great lineup of stories for you today. First, we're going to be discussing the upcoming Adult Spelling Bee open to the public. Next, we'll be covering the upcoming trip to Mexico that will be attended by our Elijah Chen and the Ithaca Violin Ensemble.
Next, we'll be profiling some local Ithacans. First, our Michael Gold will be discussing the life of Alex Reynolds, an IHS student and owner of a local buffalo farm. Finally, we'll be looking at Zodi Wagner's report on the life of Osaba Araweli, an IHS senior with dreams far beyond our school and our country.
First, we'll be looking into the Adult Spelling Bee, which is brought to us by Red Eye's Joseph Lunin and Avon Andamarian. Let's take a look at this intense competition.
Avon, how do you spell your last name?
Andemariam.
That's interesting. I didn't know that before. Anyway, ever wonder what a spelling bee would look like with adults in it instead of children? Well, you're in luck because the 16th annual IPEI Adult Spelling Bee is taking place next month.
This year, 24 teams have entered so far, which already totals $9,000 in funds. The proceeds from this year's Adult Spelling Bee fund IPEI grants for teachers to provide an enhanced educational experience in the Ithaca area.
Today, we were joined by Miss Mary Granger to talk about the spelling bee, which is sure to be one of the events of the year. We also were able to talk with some of the teams who are competing in this year's spelling bee.
This year, the spelling bee is taking place in Ithaca High School's new Wellness Center gym, located east of the large visitor parking lot. A new event happening at the bee this year is a silent auction, the proceeds from which will go towards the same cause that the spelling bee entry fees go towards.
Enough of us jabbering. Let's see what Miss Granger and the teams had to say.
What are you looking for most in this spelling bee?
Spelling bee? Winning?
I'm just really hoping to have a good time. Maybe show off again that math teachers aren't just all about math, that we can actually maybe spell some stuff too.
This is a rather competitive event. My team, I'm going to be on a team with Mr. Jason Trumbull and Dr. Lori Bruce Jawo, and we're going this year in there to win. This is an outstanding event. I've been amazed at how many folks show up for this spelling bee, this adult spelling bee from our community, and it gets competitive. I've seen chants, I've seen special outfits people wear to this, so
wow.
we're looking forward, my team looking forward to winning.
Yeah, I've always kind of been interested in the spelling bee that IPEI does. When I would read articles about it in the Tatler or in the Ithaca Journal, it always seemed like it'd be a fun thing to do. Plus, I also thought it would be neat to have a team of math teachers there, just since that's sort of something that maybe people wouldn't perceive math teachers as necessarily being good at. I mean, we can do math, but writing, maybe not so much. So we seek to dispel that notion.
Dispel, I get it.
I'm Mary Granger, and I'm a member of the Ithaca Public Education Initiative IPEI board.
So I had never heard about this event before. I've been here for 3 years now. Do you have any way to get high schoolers interested in this, coming to this event?
This year, the Code Red Robotics team, who are affiliated with IPEI, will be volunteering as part of their community service, doing event logistics. IPEI's mission is to connect school and community. So having both community and school at this fun fundraiser is really, that's why we started it, and that's why we keep it going. The event is free and open to the public, and we have complimentary refreshments. But what would be a fun way for families or individuals who attend to get competitive with the spellers and support grants for teachers? And we just thought that the one way would be to have them pledge per correctly spelled word. So when they arrive, there'll be a pledge form, and they can pledge a penny, or they can pledge more than that. And they can watch as the games go on, and the score goes up for correctly spelled words. And at the end of the event, they'll owe us that amount. So it could be $1.80 if they pledge a penny, or multiply if 180 are spelled right, just to pull one possible number out of the air. With 28 teams, there'll be more words thrown out by the pronouncer. So we really don't know.
It'll be interesting.
It will be. It's a game of chance.
Okay.
Great.
Well,
thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
That sounds like quite the competition. Good luck to all the participants. Next up, though, we'll be looking at the recent trip the Ithaca Violin Ensemble will take to Mexico. Alessia Chen has the report on the music-filled voyage this group will enjoy.
Now, we've all heard many great groups perform, such as the New York Philharmonic Orchestra and the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. But how many groups have you heard perform that consist of mainly high school and middle school students?
Well, in many ways, they're all kind of similar, but some years are more advanced than others. I think this is a very advanced group this year because we have, 5 seniors that are all advanced. One of them's talking about going into music, and all of the others could consider it if that were the case. So that's kind of unusual to have the high level of concertos and things like that. So in that way it's different. Then of course we have 11-year-old very advanced guy. I guess he's more advanced than anyone else maybe.
I guess like learning new music, and we're all like a big family and it's really great.
Well, it's fun to play with my friends, and it can be a lot of fun to come every Saturday and be conducted by Mr. who's a really fun teacher.
Part I like the most, I think, is I get to see everybody every Saturday when we play really cool pieces. I really want to go sightseeing and kind of like see the culture and try different food and stuff, you know, instead of just knowing what it's like in America. I want to experience like another culture, so I'm excited about that. I think like the whole group is going to be able to become closer together, so we'll have a lot of fun when we're there.
I guess the whole trip, I mean going to all the museums and performing in front of everybody.
I could use some of that Mexico sunshine right now. But not actually, because I'm a ginger and I would bake alive. But the music sounds fantastic. Next up, we're going to be taking a close look into the lives of local Ithacan community members. First, we'll look at Michael Gould's report on the local business person, Alex Reynolds, and his unique approach to farming. Let's take a look.
Jobs for teenagers. You can work at local restaurants, grocery stores, or things such as farm work or construction. There are a lot of different types of opportunities for teens around Ithaca, New York. I am a teenager who has a very special and unique job for teens in the area, and even most teens in the United States. Bison, also known as buffalo, are not usually seen in this area of the United States, but for me, I am around them almost every day. I am part of the select few of people who works on a buffalo farm. I was hired by one of IHS seniors named Alex Reynolds. He is one of the owners of Glenwood Farms and a person I call my boss and one of my best friends. I haven't been working for long, but while at the farm I've learned to do many things in which Alex has taught me. I've learned to drive a tractor, fix electrical fences, install gates, how to log for firewood, and also things such as the difference between healthy buffalo poo and unhealthy poo. I would like to say I've learned the basics to running a farm, but I'm afraid that I'm nowhere close to experiencing the life of farming. Today I'm going to be going further and see what the necessary steps are to tending and running a buffalo farm.
What do you find complicated about being a bison farmer?
It's a really difficult mixture between the bison being almost wild and the bison also being very selective with their food sources. So it's a balance, of course. You can't quite go up to them, but you still have to take care of them as if they were just the average highly domesticated livestock.
What do you find joyful about being a bison farmer?
Really, the work itself is enjoyable, and a lot of people would think, well, why? It's cold out, and then it's hot out, and it's long hours, and it's sunburned. I really just enjoy being outdoors. I enjoy the animals. Each one of them have their own personality. It's a great feeling to know that you're actually making something that people actually enjoy.
What was your reason for becoming a bison farmer?
To tell you the truth, it was a long dream of my dad's, and then once we moved here from Florida, we just decided to go all in, and we became buffalo farmers.
Is there any certain skills that you've obtained that any normal farmer wouldn't have?
Not too much. Our fences are a little bit different, and then we're dealing with something called mash right now, which is it's a substitute for feed, and that's something that not a lot of farmers deal with because there's not a lot of distilleries or breweries putting it out there because there's simply not a lot of them.
What skills do you feel that you have obtained personally from being a bison farmer?
Well, I've definitely learned a lot about driving over the past, 7 years now. I've learned how to give it all I've got and go throughout a day. I've learned how to drink coffee black at the age of 13. Learned how to put in an honest day's work and then have an honest day's fun afterwards.
Buffalo for like milk or any of that, because it's not really that type of animal, but like what do you do to process a bison through your farm?
Well, on our farm, we are under Article 5A legislation for the meat processing because it's a non-immutable species. It's not like cattle where you can just load them up into a trailer and then the butcher does everything. It actually stresses out the animal too much, so we actually put it down in the field and then we take it to our butcher and he does the rest of the processing.
Well, thank you for your time.
No problem.
There are plenty of jobs in New York State, but I have a special one. Many people will never get to experience the things that I have when it comes to bison. Alex and his family have built a foundation in which they will expand and build upon. They've come this far, and I don't see them stopping anytime soon. In Ithaca, it's a place for opportunity, and a place you can do anything you set your mind to.
Ow. I didn't even know we raised buffalo in Ithaca. Huh. I could use some buffalo chicken right now. I wonder what other strange animals are in the area. Anyways, next, we're going to be examining the life of Osaba Elwele, a senior at Ithaca High School and an up-and-coming athlete. Zodi Wagner has the report.
I am Zodi Wagner here with WRED. I'll be interviewing Osaba Elwele. I'll be talking to him about his life at IHS, what it's been like, and his plans for the future. Osaba is a straight A student, among other things. He is the captain of the varsity soccer team, a member of the track team, and he's had leadership positions in multiple clubs, and is a member of the Ithaca Student Council. Hi, I'm Zodi Wagner here with WRED, here with Osaba. So Osaba, seeing you're taking several AP classes at IHS, how do you feel they're going to prepare you for college?
So clearly AP classes are advanced placement classes, and they've definitely shown me a new level of difficulty. I've had to study a lot more, and I've learned a lot more information in those classes, so I really feel like if I remember how I had to prepare for those classes, I'll be able to succeed in college.
And seeing you've been a successful student academically and also on the field, how was your journey becoming the captain of the soccer team last year from not making it freshman year?
It was really a learning experience, and also it was also a great journey, like you said. So yeah, I didn't make the team freshman year, but I buckled down and I learned how to work hard and how to really make time for training as well as academics, and that just made me grow as a person, and it also just taught me a whole lot of things about perseverance and hard work. So.
And also having your sister attending Cornell, do you feel that that's putting pressure on you or motivation to get into an Ivy League school or such as Cornell or Harvard and push yourself further?
I never thought of it as pressure. It was really just motivation. I've always felt kind of competitive with my sister. We never like, oh, I got this, but like she goes to Cornell, she's the captain of the track team, and I just want to live up to the family name at this point. She's definitely helped me a lot into being a good contender for Cornell and talking to coaches and stuff like that. So she's really motivation and a lot of help. So.
And so with all the classes you're taking this year, what do you think is your favorite class, and what do you also think is the biggest class that'll make the most impact towards college?
I think the answer to both of those are physics. I've really found my way in physics. I want to be an engineer, so it's a very applicable course. And I also think that the information is really challenging, but also it's very interesting, really, to me. I learned a lot about just how things work, and yeah, I think that I'll find that physics was very helpful when I get into some college of engineering. So.
Okay. And how do you have time to manage all these activities? You're also in the Ithaca Youth Council, so how do you find all the time to do all those things?
Yeah, I'm in a lot of different programs like youth council, student government, soccer, track, and a little bit of theater. It's definitely really difficult, and I'm really fortunate that they fall on different days and at different times. But I don't know. I don't get a lot of sleep, but I've gotten kind of used to it, and I don't really think of it as, oh, I don't have any time today. But one day I'll have more time, and this will help me be more productive in the future. So it's just kind of training for the future.
Yeah. And do you feel that IHS has prepared you for your future?
Definitely. With all the great teachers we have here and amazing facilities such as the new weight room, I'm really thankful for that. It's helped me improve academically, athletically, and just as a person.
Okay, thank you. Osaba has shown characteristics of a great student and a promising leader. Unlike other students, he has pushed himself and challenged himself, being involved in several activities such as Ithaca Youth Council, Student Council, and several sports. He has been a thriving student at IHS.
What an impressive student. Many students can take inspiration from his work ethic. Finally, with the latest episode of Inside ICSD with Dr. Brown. This week's guest is Seth Peacock. It was a fantastic conversation, and we think you'll enjoy it.
Hello, and welcome to Inside ICSD with Dr. Brown, a show that takes a look inside the Ithaca City School District. I'm Lavelle Brown, Superintendent of Schools, and my co-host today is Brian Okumu, a senior at the Ithaca High School. Welcome, Brian.
Good to be here.
All right, today our guest on the show is long-serving board member on the Board of Education, and he's here to help us get a sense of leadership and his role.
Thanks, Dr. Brown.
Mr. Peacock, tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to be on the Board of Education.
Well, about 10 years ago, I decided to join the board. I had 3 children in the school district, and I thought it was a fantastic way to not only look out for the best interests of my children, but also serve the other kids of Ithaca by serving as a board member.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. So, Mr. Peacock, what are some recent highlights from working on the Board of Education for the past 9 years?
Well, one of the main highlights that a lot of people will know about is the tremendous work we've done with our facilities. About 5 years ago, the community supported a facilities bond where we spent about $100 million to improve our facilities. Some of the obvious new things we have are new gymnasiums, an upgrade to the Fine and Performing Arts Center, but also people have noticed that in almost every building we've done tremendous things to restore our facilities for the next 20 to 25 years, including roofs, parking lot changes, overall infrastructure changes. So that was a huge achievement of the community to spend that much money to really put us in a great position going forward in the next 20 years.
Yeah, the new gym is pretty nice. And also, what have been the biggest challenges?
Well, first of all, one of the things we had to do in that 10-year period I've been serving is hire a new superintendent. We had a superintendent who was here for about 15 years, and making that transition for someone who served that long to new leadership is often difficult and can be very challenging. Luckily, we made a great hire with Dr. Brown. One of the challenges as a board is to be able to adjust to the new type of leadership. And what we had to do was come together as a board, allow Dr. Brown to lead, redefine our role and how we follow and how we support the important work of the district, while at the same time supporting Dr. Brown's new ideas and new initiatives, and not just saying, oh, that's not how the old superintendent did it. And so that's been a challenge. We also have had to maintain, if you notice, our board is very diverse, and we had to maintain the focus on the work. We had to focus on the students. We have business leaders on the board, we have attorneys, we have teachers, and we all come from a different perspective. But one of the things I'm most proud of with the leadership of our board president, Rob Ainsley, is we've allowed all these diverse points of view to come together and not fracture and become a fighting board that's not effective and is not focused on doing the good work for our students. So that's probably what I'm proudest of over the 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah, Brian, the partnership between the board and superintendent is critical to any organization like ours being successful. We've attempted to be very strategic in our work. With that, Mr. Peacock, do you foresee any challenges or some things that we may be facing in the coming years that will push us to think differently?
Well, I think this year one of our most pressing challenges is going to be dealing with our budget. We're deep into budget season right now, and the state has pretty much kept our resources flat. Now, in our district, we're a little unusual in that most of our support, about 70% of it, comes from our local taxpayers. So we're not hurt that much by the 30% that the state contributes. But since it's been so flat for so long, we're going to have to be very creative and find ways to save money because the state's not increasing what they give us. And we really have to balance this idea of providing a first-class education with the burden that we place on taxpayers. So that's always the struggle, and we're really deep in it now, and this will be a challenging year, as Dr. Brown knows.
Yeah, this will be my fourth budget cycle with this team in place, and each year we've had challenges. But at the same time, we've been able to innovate and grow programs and maintain staffing ratios. So in a sense, we've done much with a little. Going forward, Mr. Peacock, do you see some things or wish to see some things continue or some new things to continue in the midst of this budget challenge that we're in?
The first thing I want to see continue is the investment that we've made to our teachers. We've really changed the way we've approached professional development. We've really tried to up the training that we give to our teachers. Instead of just saying, hey, teachers, and play the blame game, get this done, we've really tried to support our teachers with new, innovative ways to engage their students, to use technology, but technologies not the focus alone. It's also just simply good teaching. How do you get a student excited about what you're teaching them? And that's what our professional development is really focused on. Also, we talked about this bond initiative. As happy as I am to see the new buildings and the new spaces that we have, I think we could still focus and do a better job of filling those spaces with good, great programs like we have now with the studio. We can do a lot more with our dance studio. You know, I'd like to see the black box used a little more. I'd like to see our athletics building used a little more. So I think we could do a better job and get students more engaged in the use of our great facilities here.
Yeah. Also, is there anything about Ithaca you want the larger community to know about?
You know what? I want them to know about fantastic students like yourselves. They can't see it now, but there's about 12 students who are really excited working in the studio now, putting this show on, doing their own independent broadcast, finding ideas, interviewing students. I saw this great one where someone was taping their friends playing a soccer grudge match. That it was just a simple, fun kind of broadcast. So, you know, knowing that kind of work and excitement and engagement is happening in this building is something that I really wish everybody could see.
Brian, it's been a pleasure to serve as superintendent in this district because, like Mr. Peacock, all 9 members of our Board of Education can speak to the work as eloquently and as articulately as he just did. They know about teaching and learning. They know young people's names. They participate in our activities, including being in the gym every morning at 6 a.m. Mr. Peacock is in there working out with young people just every morning, just about. You can tell. Look at his body. But it's been a pleasure to work on this board, to work with this board because they know the work so well.
And can I say one other thing about being a board member? What's special about being a board member in Ithaca is that when I go to those meetings on Tuesdays and all the other meetings that we attend, I'm doing the work on behalf of students and teachers that I know. You know, it's not some anonymous kids out there in some school district that's so large that I don't see them. I know if I'm voting on a 3rd grade initiative, I can probably identify about 10 3rd graders that I know who are going to be affected by that. If I'm voting on a girls hockey team, you know, budget, I know those players. You know, so that's a real special thing when you can directly connect the work you're doing to the students that it's affecting, and that's real special, and that's one of the greatest things about serving on the board.
Another example, I know Mr. Peacock's going to be at the annual IPEI Spelling Bee. You may not be participating as a speller, but I know you're going to be there. And I know you had some questions about the Spelling Bee.
Yes. All right, so what are you looking for most in the Spelling Bee?
Spelling Bee? Winning. This is a rather competitive event. My team, I'm going to be on a team with Mr. Jason Trumbull and Dr. Lori Bruce Jawo. And we're going this year in there to win. This is an outstanding event. I've been amazed at how many folks show up for this spelling bee, this adult spelling bee from our community. And it gets competitive. I've seen chants. I've seen special outfits people wear to this. So we're looking forward, my team looking forward to winning. We've done well in the past few years, but we haven't came home with the trophy. I'm looking out to everyone now. We're going to win this year. And I hope y'all are dusting off that trophy from my team. So,
and can I say something about that? You know, the spelling bee is fun and it does raise money, but that's just another outstanding example of how the community supports the work we're trying to do. You know, it's not just the district. This IPEI spelling bee is organized by a group that donates money to the district, that helps us learn, that gives us connection to leading educators, and actually helps us get the work done. So it's fun, but don't forget that group and others really support the work of the district and Dr. Brown, and we can't do it alone, and we really appreciate that.
So thank you, IPEI, for putting on such a great event each year. And thank you, Brian, for hosting today, and thank you, Mr. Peacock, for being our guest. And for all of you out there, please continue to tune in. Send us your suggestions or comments, and use the hashtag InsideICSD to tweet to us as well. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today, everyone.
For Brian Akumu, I'm Wade Englehart. Join us next time for another episode of The Red Eye. And as always, stay classy, Ithaca.
Hey.